It's the most glamorous Grand Prix of the season, many say. Round 4 of the Formula 1 World Championship of 1994, and we're in Monte Carlo. And it promises to be a fascinating race. On for the fact of the moment, can anyone stop Michael Schumacher, who has been magnificently and supremely dominant this season, even though perhaps his nearest rival hasn't quite been at the races. And being at the races is what it's all about. Michael Schumacher showed a skill with this brilliant pass on Gerhard Berger, but then a mistake here from Ayrton Senna, which allowed Michael Schumacher to go through and effectively gave the race, as Senna was in complete control in the previous round at San Marino. It was a disappointing race for Damon Hill that ended up being taken off by Martin Brundle, neither of them scoring a points and heavy damage, but Brundle was okay. And despite the best efforts of Ayrton Senna, he could not catch Michael Schumacher, that had too much pace about him, and was able to come home and win the race and make it a 100% start for 1994. Therefore, after 3 rounds in the Drivers' Championship, it's Michael Schumacher with an 18-point lead over Ayrton Senna in second place. Damon Hill and Mika Häkkinen are also involved. The Ferraris of Jean Alesi and Gerhard Berger make up the top 6. In the Constructors' Championship, Benetton's 10-point lead over Williams is set, though it has to be said at the moment that Williams are getting more cars to finish in the points than Benetton. And to qualifying yesterday, and a wonderful performance we saw from Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher once again was the man to beat, and Senna did it by nearly a second. 0.928, a phenomenal lap for Ayrton Senna, who put out something special to go pole here this afternoon. Well, we know the starting grid. Senna nearly a second quicker than Michael Schumacher in second place. Those Williams Renault mechanics working their socks off. And when you're in pole, you usually win in Monaco. Damon Hill's on the second row, joined by Mika Häkkinen, Gerhard Berger and Jean Alesi, as both Ferraris live up on row 3. Martin Brundle with an impressive qualifying performance ahead of Mark Blundell. The 2 Brits are on row 4 and 7 and 8th, and Martini and Alboreto make up 9th and 10th. Christian Fittipaldi and Uto Katayama make 11th and 12th. Gianni Morbidelli is just ahead of the Jordan Hart of Rubens Barrichello. JJ Leto and the other Benetton a disappointing 15th for them. And then it's both Ligiers of Olivier Panis and Eric Bernard in 16th and 17th. Eric Comas in the LaRousse is ahead of Nicole Vendingler that has struggled. Johnny Herbert does well to qualify the Lotus again. So Senna on the left, Schumacher on the right, Damon Hill was in third. We watched for the lights, they go red now. We're waiting for the Monaco Grand Prix to get going. And it is now, go, 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 good start there by Senna, it's got away clearly, so has Schumacher. Damon Hill has made a great start, and Mika Häkkinen also in 4th place is challenging. But Hill at the moment is pushed side at the moment by Häkkinen, who's making a real go for it. Up they go to the very first time, making their way towards Casino. Senna leads from Schumacher straight away, starting to pull away. There goes, and Hill's just been able to get through to Damon Hill, who's got past his Häkkinen. And there's the Ferraris of Berger and Alesi behind him. So Damon Hill into 3rd place after this disastrous Grand Prix in San Marino. Ayrton Senna leads, Michael Schumacher 2nd. And they're going to head through the tunnel for the very first time today. And Ayrton Senna looks to be absolutely flying. Break their way to the first chicane. He's already pulled out 0.8 of a second at the moment, lead on Michael Schumacher. Brilliant bit of driving that is by Senna, that's continuing to pull away. Now they're going to make towards the swimming pool. It's the sweeping left, then right. That's it. Then it's an opportunity to come back in again. Right, then left again. Now they'll make their way to the final few sections of the Grand Prix. It's a brilliant bit of performance through Saint-Devote and through in a start-finish. And Senna here is absolutely flying. Schumacher's behind him. There's Damon Hill in 3rd place. And Senna leads the Grand Prix.
Well, Ayrton Senna does love Monaco. He's won here more than anyone else, and I think that Williams is certainly benefiting from that extra aero that it's got clamped to its rear wing. Certainly looking more stable today, although I must admit Michael has also brought some extra aero with him. I think this is very much not so much reliant on speed, obviously. It's very much reliant on car control and good positioning above all else if you're not wanting to be overtaken here, as opportunities are few and far between. But everyone looking to clamp on a little bit extra downforce to try and keep the car as stable as possible, because if you get it wrong here, you're in the barrier and it's race over.
Well, Ayrton Senna loves Monaco. He's won here 5 times and seems to be a driver that cannot be stopped at this circuit. We all remember the great race he had with Nigel Mansell 2 years ago, and that thrilling final few laps holding him off to take the win in a brilliant performance in a vastly sort of slower car, showing some great racecraft. But now for the first time this season, really, we saw it at Imola, San Marino Grand Prix. Schumacher now is chasing Ayrton Senna, who's got to put that mistake behind him, and he's doing it with a 1:20.4 and a very quick lap by Ayrton Senna.
Yes, he's looking to establish himself early here to try and, well, he's got to claw back the points deficit, and if he can do it in the most demoralising way possible to try and unnerve the young Michael Schumacher, then he will do. But keep an eye on Damon Hill. He's slowly catching up as well, and Mika Hakkinen had an excellent start. He just didn't quite have the power going up the hill to keep ahead of Damon, but the young Finn has done an excellent job. He's had a good couple of races as Mika Hakkinen. He did really well at Imola as well, keeping it nice and steady, and brought the car home in a good position, so it's a good performance from him.
Well, it's McLaren ahead of 2 Ferraris, and the second McLaren of Martin Brundle. Of course, these two very much were involved in the title only back as 4 years ago, but since then been a drop off, and the rise of Williams this season, the rise of Benetton challenging the Formula 1 status quo, but there is still a big set of rivalries between McLaren and Ferrari. The team from Maranello and the team from Woking essentially don't really like one another and want to make sure they can get the better of each other at every opportunity that they have. We're on board with Geoff at the moment, who is 5th. That is 4th place Mika Hakkinen, the young Finn, the former Lotus driver, that's ahead of him. We're through, we've completed lap 4 at the moment, and I can confirm that Ayrton Senna leads Schumacher by 1.6 seconds. Senna roughly has the same level lead over Damon Hill, who's 3 seconds behind, and this is Damon Hill. That's Schumacher ahead of him. And Damon is doing whatever best he can do at the moment to try and chase down this German driver at the moment. Williams yet to finish this season with both cars in the points. A quite astonishing thing to realise when you took at how the two have performed in previous seasons, that Williams have yet to get both of their cars to finish in the points.
Well, I don't know who the race director was, but he needs to remember that the cameras don't work when the cars are going through the tunnel. But both Benettons could do with a double point scoring finish. Obviously they had an engine blow up last race, and Michael has very much been carrying this Benetton team so far, and as much as Ayrton Senna, obviously he's got a DNF to his name as well, but Damon and Senna have been sharing the scoring a bit more between them, whereas Michael is very much doing all of the scoring for Benetton.
Well, Frank Williams has said that from his standpoint, the constructors is what they're racing for. They want to be the best team. To do that, you have to cater for the fact that you've got drivers that want to be world champion and want to be known as the best driver. And it's striking that right balance that's done well for Williams in the last couple of years. Got it right with Nigel Mansell 2 years ago. Got it right last season with Alain Prost, although some have questioned why that Mansell wasn't allowed the opportunity to defend his world championship. But Alain Prost has been a driver that Frank Williams has wanted for a long time. He got him, he won him the world championship and the constructors. He's wanted Ayrton Senna for even more, even going back to his days in Formula 3, where he was offered a test with the Williams team, but wasn't able to get it, and probably signed for Tolman after that at the start of the 1984 season. So that's how long Senna has been going in Formula 1. The world champion of 1988 and 1990 and 1991 is looking to add a 4th row to his crown. He wants to go and be a 4 times world champion, just like his teammate Senna go and do so? Well, today he knows to do that, you've got to start winning races. Lap 6, 2.262 seconds is the advantage that he's pulled out at the moment on Michael Schumacher. Ayrton Senna at the moment is driving like a man possessed.
Well, he knows this circuit well. As mentioned earlier, he's one hair more than anyone. And he's looking to add to that tally. It would be an incredible feat to win here 6 times. And he's leading from the front and doesn't look at all bothered by what anyone else is doing. Obviously, if any back markers get in the way, that might become problematic, but he'll no doubt deal with that problem rather promptly. As of course, that memorable lap where the lap of the gods, as he calls it, came across back marker traffic essentially in qualifying and managed to dodge them fine. So I dare say in the race it'll be very similar.
And there will be laser focus in the eyes of Ayrton Senna as he matches every braking point. At times Senna has said it's not really a case of consciously making, it's learning to drive this track unconsciously. He's got a wonderful technique in finding grip and trying to find a little bit more than some other drivers can do before, and it's showing now at the start of lap 7 because his lead over Michael Schumacher is nearly 2.5 seconds, and Schumacher's just starting at the moment to pull away from Damon Hill. 3 races to Damon Hill, 3 victories to Damon Hill's name last season, and Damon Hill hoping that he can start to learn a lot. From the standpoint of Damon Hill, you're the understudy to Ayrton Senna, and it must be learning how to bat like Brian Lara, or dare I say it, kick a football like Maradona.
Well, he's certainly got the best person to ask for advice, although I don't know how open Ayrton Senna is to advice. I know that Ayrton very much studies how everyone tests. I know that the young David Coulthard did some testing for Williams earlier this year, and Ayrton was at the track and making sure that what David said was accurate. So Ayrton can be an interesting character and may not appear the most open, but if you do as he expects, he's a fairly decent guy to deal with.
Well, we're watching the battle for 4th place at the moment. Mika Hakkinen being chased by Gerhard Berger. Both he and Ayrton Senna, 10-year veterans of Formula 1. There is John Alesi behind in 6th place, and Martin Brundle harrying that to try and get the 2nd McLaren in the points. But overtaking at Monaco is so difficult, it's so challenging to be able to do, as Senna's got the gap now to nearly 3 seconds as he continues to absolutely fly around this circuit. And Martin Brundle flying up as they make their way over to the casino for the very first time. And this is the key moment in the track. You have to stay there and then allow the car to drift, but not too much. Right over to the barrier is a key point through. Now through the right-hander, they'll make their way then to the hairpin. Very tight, 31 mile an hour they'll be doing. What you'd be doing through a high street, they'll race through a corner, now into the tunnel as they brake right and put the power on. Up through the gears, the fastest part of the track for both of these, of all these cars they'll be doing in, just touching nearly about 170 mile an hour before they have to brake. In fact, Yuko Katayama has the fastest top speed recorded today, 167, obviously getting a tow. Martin Brundle there, just short of 165 mile an hour, so it's 2 mile an hour. It's a very slow walk away, but still, it makes all the difference here in Formula 1 at the moment. And it looks as if one of the Ligiers has come off the track. And there goes Ayrton Senna, who is through. And that is the race for one of the hometown teams.
Yes, but Stewart's doing a very quick job of getting that car out of the way quickly. Fortunately, it was off the racing line, so it didn't affect anything, and it's been cleared up fairly quickly, and we don't have to worry about any of Senna's hard work being undone. It would be a little unjust for him to have built such a lead, only for it to be cast away for some French engine blowing up.
Well, we get back to the action with Damon Hill in 3rd place, doing what he can to chase down Michael Schumacher. He is pulling away from Mika Hakkinen, so the Williams is able to go far quicker than the McLaren. That is looks to be holding up Gerhard Berger in the Ferrari, and Jean Alesi Des. Michael Schumacher in second place. There is Damon Hill running in third, and Senna is looking to move away. Eric Bernard in the Ligier is the only retirement so far, and the pit window is open, and in goes Johnny Herbert into the pits. And is that Schumacher coming into the pits?
Well, he's going for the undercuts. We thought that he might have done it last race, and it almost worked out that way had Senna not spun, so he's trying it again here. 5.4 second stop, that's a decent pit stop. So let's see how, obviously traffic might become a factor here as well, but Ayrton Senna will undoubtedly know that his nearest rival is pitted, and he will get the hammer down.
Well, Schumacher has rejoined, and he's straight away got Hakkinen, and he's got Berger, Alesi and Brundle right behind him. So coming through, Schumacher has come out in third place. The question is, can he find 4 seconds or so? Where would you find 4 seconds in this lap? Well, you can drive really fast. You can hope that your pit stop is quicker. You can hope there's a mistake in the Williams pit crew. You've got fresher tyres. This is going to be the real opportunity for Michael Schumacher, and if he's going to be able to get a chance to challenge Ayrton Senna, this is where he's got to go. But Damon Hill at the moment is at a very good race at the moment in second place. Could Damon Hill be able to do enough and be able to use this opportunity? Those tyres and that Williams is running really well at the moment, but this will be the man that will be calling the pit crew starts. It'll be Ayrton Senna. It looks like he's gone wide, so is Senna coming into the pits?
He has indeed. It looked like he almost drifted it round that final corner to give himself the quickest angle into the pits. Very ballsy driving, and a decent enough pit stop as well, as he's almost... The pit crews out here are very brave, but they've avoided the cars very well. See where he comes out.
Well, it was a slower pit stop, and there's Schumacher! There is Schumacher! So Schumacher's been able to get close, but he's not been able to get past. Senna's stop was a second slower than Schumacher's. It was enough that Senna needed, but now he's got Michael Schumacher sitting right behind him, and we saw that the first sort of signs of pressure building on Ayrton Senna was the fact that he made that mistake at Imola. Will he make a similar mistake here? Half a second, and Schumacher really is going, and Senna knows that he's got traffic ahead of him. He's got a very determined and motivated, perhaps the best driver of the season at the moment in Michael Schumacher, sitting right behind him at the moment. And Senna knows he's got to get every single overtake round all these back markers that are coming up spot on, because if he gets it wrong, there is going to be real trouble, and there is a huge train of cars that he has got to get past, and this could be really challenging. He's got Height Harold Frentzen standing ahead of him first, and that's who he's got to get past. And then he's also got after that Eric Comas to follow in the Jordan. And during all this case of traffic, depends how many to come in and want to pit. None of them do. So this could be the key moment for Michael Schumacher. Senna leads, Schumacher is seconds, and how many is that? 5 back markers, and there goes good work by Comas, just letting Senna through. Vendingler at the moment going to let his fellow countryman and fellow Sauber driver, you would think, come through nice and easily, and Senna has used the opportunity also to get past the Minardi, and has continued to put the pressure on. And we've got Bele Martini also going on. Deschegeras looking to try to move out the way when he can, but he can't at the moment. And at the moment, an opportunity to get past Christian Fittipaldi is going to be a challenge for Michael Schumacher, because in that Minardi, Fittipaldi at the moment is just slowing Schumacher down. But through the tunnel, Senna gets away and Schumacher gets away.
Well, that was an absolute disaster, as that entry into that chicane has been a bit of a disaster. He's going to need... Oh, what a place to stop. Well, that's almost a disaster, but I think they've just about managed to avoid it, have they? It's very close. It's a very awkward place to park your car, sir, but it's not affected the racing too much, as Michael is still trying to weave his way through traffic. It's an absolute train of cars that are in the way. That's another one down, but as Senna gets past one, Michael's got to follow in suit fairly swiftly, otherwise they risk a massive gap being made.
Well, now Ayrton Senna's got to get past Michael Schumacher's teammate Jari Lepvio, and you wonder if this is going to be a case of a bit of team orders potentially come in. We'll look to try and hold Ayrton Senna up. Schumacher's gone ahead and made his move at the moment past the Lotus, which he's done brilliantly past Johnny Herbert. Now he makes his way up, and you've got the two Benettons at the moment also looking to give chases. They're going to be a two. Schumacher is let past. Absolutely no surprises there that Schumacher is let past, just squeezing through Uko Katayama, who does slow them down. Katayama does slow both drivers down, and look at that, he's forcing Schumacher to go around the outside. Katayama, I don't think you're going to be getting a Christmas card from Michael Schumacher after that, because that was Schumacher's moment. And Katayama, disastrous moment. Well, back markers really affected the race of Ayrton Senna. It's Brazil, it's really affecting Michael Schumacher here at Monaco.
Well, Katayama being a dithering idiot and not getting out of the way, then getting out of the way, then brake checking, then forcing drivers around the... I don't know what he was doing. He should get a warning from the stewards for that, because that was just absolute rubbish.
Well, as a result of the unsportsmanlike potential driving, there goes Schumacher finally past Katayama. Pierluigi Martini is ahead in the Minardi for him to chase down, but in all of that time, Ayrton Senna has used his opportunity to move away, and at the same time Damon Hill was starting to make his way through the same set of traffic. So Schumacher will be deeply frustrated. He should have too much to get past Martini, and he's got the arrows to chase down after this. And there'll be Christian Fittipaldi will be the man that he will look to chase through. And Damon Hill now, he's starting to make a little move, and there he goes. Right into long turning right before we have the hairpin, and that is not Michael Schumacher ahead, that is his teammate or temporary teammate until we're waiting for Geoff Verstappen to return after his injury. Horrible burns he did get whilst testing the Benetton, and Damon Hill was let past. No need to hold Damon Hill up, he's still chasing and looking for third place, and looking to bit of redeem after a pretty poor San Marino Grand Prix. Going to be Damon Hill's moment. He's able to get past Katayama with considerably poor ease, and now he's got Martini ahead, and Damon Hill again into first gear. Quite a common. You've got to have a very strong gearbox here at Monaco, because they can be really tested. There is Michael Schumacher, who's got clear track ahead of him. There was no Ayrton Senna 2 laps ago. Ayrton Senna, well, he was sitting right, his gearbox was right on the nose of Michael Schumacher's car. Now Ayrton Senna is pulling away, and he's got a bit of breathing space, and he can just start to manage this race from this point on.
He can look after the tyres a bit more, he can just look after the engine a bit more, he can do a bit of controlled lead giving, if that makes sense. He can let Michael catch up a little bit by knowing that he's got that little bit extra in reserve should he need to increase it a bit more. Although a 5-second gap at Monaco, well, that might as well be 6 months. It's a huge gap at a track like this, and it's certainly going to be very much Senna's to throw away, very much like he threw it away in Imola. But I dare say that kind of issue that he had last time out is going to make him ever more determined to add another Monaco victory to his rather sumptuous CV that he's got going on with World Championships and glamorous race wins, and Monaco, well, it doesn't really get any better than Monaco, does it?
Well, the great Graham Hill was a great winner at Monaco, winning multiple times. Senna here today looking to go and put himself in that same breath of conversation of great winners at Monaco. This is lap 16 of 22. Ayrton Senna leads, and he's building that lap over Michael Schumacher to 5.2 seconds, so I wonder potentially, as Schumacher decided to play a longer game and settle back into second place, knowing at the moment here at Monaco just how difficult it is to pass. Bearing in mind Schumacher's won the first 3 races, dropping just 4 points today and getting a good second place ahead of Damon Hill might not be bad for his championship prospects.
Yes, it's all a calculating game, isn't it? You've got to be cerebral in your attempts to go for a World Championship. If you know that it's going to be difficult and potentially dangerous and maybe not quite worth trying to make a manoeuvre which may end up in you getting no points, sometimes it's better to just take the calculating and safer option that could then lead you on to a better opportunity in the next race, because there's plenty of races to go. Michael Schumacher is controlling the World Championship at the minute. He will still be leading should things remain the same, so he doesn't really have too much of a reason to risk it by trying to push that little bit too much and potentially sticking it in the barrier and coming away with no points.
Well, this is the 4th race of a 16-race World Championship, and while we might be slightly delayed in getting them out to you here at Trevor Sports, we can assure you that we will bring you all 16 before the end of this year, and it could be some classic Grand Prix racing that we have ahead of us. This is Gerhard Berger in 4th place. That is the Benetton teammate of Michael Schumacher's Jari Lepvio, and he has no choice but to just let the quicker Ferrari go past. And then he has got Uko Katayama to chase down, and this will work out well for Ferrari, who are currently running 4th and 6th, and Berger has got past Hakkinen in the pit stop, so the race director has missed it. Great work there by Gerhard Berger, who showed his real race class and has got past Mika Hakkinen.
Yes, it's always a true test of your overtaking abilities. Hakkinen is diving down the inside there again, and this Monaco is a very different. It's a unique track in the sense that it is all about who has the best car control and who can take the best out of their opportunities. As overtaking here is very challenging, as well demonstrated. Even when it comes to backmarker traffic, where they have to get out of the way, it's still a tricky thing to negotiate. As we're sitting here, where is Michael Schumacher? He's not even reached the bottom of the hill as Senna's headed over the crest. He's really building that lead. And at some point I feel like Frank might just ask him to rein it in a little, as I said, a calculating move. You're in 1st place, that'll be 10 points on the board. Don't throw it all away by trying to set lap records now.
Well, 5.5 seconds is Senna's advantage over Michael Schumacher. There are 3 laps remaining of the Monaco Grand Prix. Ayrton Senna leads, Michael Schumacher is 2nd, Damon Hill is 3rd. Potentially Williams are looking at their first 2 drivers sitting on the podium this season. Not been a problem for them in previous seasons. It very much has been a problem for them getting going at the moment, and I think Schumacher potentially and Senna might be starting to settle for the position, because it looks as if that Senna didn't eke out too much of an advantage in the last section. Damon Hill, though, much improved how he raced at Imola, where he looked a bit impetuous and showed a bit of inexperience, but Damon Hill starting to show things are starting to come together for him, and he's at a good performance here at the moment if he can hold on to this 3rd place.
He qualified in 3rd, and I think if you maintain your position at Monaco, you've done a reasonably good job. It means that you haven't made any mistakes. Monaco, as said, is a difficult place to overtake, so not gaining any positions but not losing any positions is generally a great achievement at a track like this. But he's recovered well after Imola. It was a challenging weekend for him. Obviously, the weather conditions and the couple of shunts he was in, he's still managed to come home, even if it wasn't what he wanted. But he's recovered well, and it'll be good experience for him later down the line.
2 laps remaining. Ayrton Senna is the leader of the Monaco Grand Prix, and his lead is starting to stretch to near 6 seconds. And while that might not sound like much, again, it's only the full brakes, the 2-second rule. Just repeat that 3 times. The next time you're out on the motorway, you'll understand the difference that Senna has got over Michael Schumacher, and he's continuing to look comfortable around a circuit which is very uncomfortable to drive around. It's very difficult. You'll go right to the limit, right to the barriers on quite a few occasions. Yet Ayrton Senna has looked really comfortable as we start the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yes, well, it is a very uncomfortable circuit. You've got to remember, this is a street circuit, and it's being driven on by cars that are supposed to be on smooth racetracks. So your backside certainly does take a bit of a beating. Along with if you haven't insulated the car properly, it can also end up rather warm. So it's not the most comfortable of race, but it's obviously if you win it, which is very much what Senna is looking like doing here, it is the best feeling. And that car is facing the wrong way. It could be it's a bit better.
Yeah, Michele Alboreto just spinning the Minardi, but getting back on track, and I don't think that's really going to affect the rest of the race. It's definitely not going to affect Ayrton Senna, who's catching him, but I don't think he's going to be able to lap him again after that mistake. Senna here looking to come through. Final few corners left of this Monaco Grand Prix, what has been an excellent drive by Ayrton Senna. He really has been quite fabulous and calculated, and it's back to his imperious best. And the Williams Renault, we have to give credit, is starting to look really lively in this championship. Through Sandoval for the final time. The Raskas, there goes Senna up to the start-finish line, and at long last, Ayrton Senna is a race winner with Williams. He wins and comes home to take victory in the Monaco Grand Prix. A brilliant performance by him. Michael Schumacher takes second place, and in truth, Schumacher's going to have to hold hands up and say he was well beaten today by Senna. Damon Hill comes through to get third place, and Gerhard Berger, who's got the better. So the battle between Ferrari and McLaren continues, and today it's Ferrari which have got the better. And after Berger's retirement last time, and that's Heinz Howard Frentzen, who's well, his whole front end's gone there. What on earth happened there?
Well, we've had to find out. He's basically managed to remove all of the wheels from his car, probably the steering wheel as well, for good measure. It's well, he just forgot about taking the apex, didn't he? And yep, it's one quick-fire way to remove the front end of your car.
Well, an immaculate performance by Ayrton Senna. Pole position, he's led every lap, wins this race, and he closes the gap on Michael Schumacher. Also, a notable performance there from Damon Hill into third place, but Senna is breathing down the neck of Michael Schumacher after 4 rounds of the World Championship. From the constructor's standpoint, it's even closer. Williams are now just 2 points behind Benetton. So a wonderful performance by Ayrton Senna to win this. Can he keep this performance up, or will Michael Schumacher fight back? You can see us next. We're in Spain, and you'll see that on Sunday Grandstands. If you've enjoyed this race here on Trevor Sports, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Formula 1 action here on the channel. Let us know what your thoughts are on the video, and we look forward to seeing you again for more Grand Prix action